TJ Miller will be here live to talk about his new show, Mashup.
Plus, we'll bring you director James Cameron's classic visit to and through our sets.
But first of all, we have to talk about
what happened yesterday on the show. You think? For those of you who didn't see,
we had a naked guy on the show yesterday. My friend.
We didn't have him as a naked guy. Let's back it up for a second. Eric Andre,
a comedian,
your friend
of mine,
who's on an Adult Swim show, came on the show.
Yep.
Well, you can see what happened.
The interview got crazy, and we have footage of it. Take a look at it right here.
This show's getting cancer. I know it cares.
Get in here, Candace.
Get in here, Candace.
They actually gave me a card with questions.
I think maybe the funniest thing that has ever happened live on our show.
I'm glad you clarified, because I made it sound like he just came on naked.
No, he didn't come on naked. He stripped down to his white boxers that had a painted penis on it.
A painted white penis.
A white man's penis. And then when I went in to cover it, he dropped his boxers completely, and I saw his real penis.
It's the old locker room trick. Have you seen my sister? He did it live on television. Our SMP guy, our SMP guy freaked out. Used the nuclear option. He hit a button that just scrambled everything. That's what people saw live, and man,
but
it was
in the
very
second
funny.
version of the show, in the not live version, they just blurred this area right here. What was so funny is I got a bunch of tweets after people telling me that they think that was the first penis I had ever seen. Based on my reaction, I was like, I was horrified.
I can tell you right now, that's not the first penis she's ever seen.
Interesting.
He may be right. Let's turn down the top things on the web, shall we?
Let's do ATN. We're going around the net. Around the net. Yes. What's up first, Candace?
Well, thanks to global warming, soon it won't snow anywhere, and all we'll be left with is fake snowmen.
When the Christmas lights are twinkling and the glistening snow has sleigh bells keep a perfect rhythm for a Christmas dance with you.
Candace, this snowman has a corncob pipe, 2 eyes made out of coal, and a lengthy entry on the sex offender registry.
Seriously, that snowman was just trying to feel people up. That's not what you think of when you think Frosty the Snowman. And they were all laughing because that was their first reaction, but you know they went home and cried.
Sometimes when
When Frosty the Snowman molests you, you cry.
Mom, how was your day today? Ma, well, young child, your small holiday hero molested me.
Felt up my boobies, and I don't want that from Frosty. And now, here's a new interpretation of that dubstep music the kids are listening to these days.
You know, even Sarah McLachlan endorses putting that dog down.
Well, at least the dog didn't take its penis out on live TV.
That's true.
Am I right?
We should have that dog on for an interview.
We should. Then we'll be complete. Up next, time to play dominoes. Or not.
Okay.
That's the whole video.
That's your only job! You have one job, and it's to do that, and you screwed it up, kid.
Poor kid.
Come on!
Oh,
Come on,
she's so
kid!
confused. All right, It's a kid.
It's
Come
a
on.
kid, but that's basic motor skills.
Well, she doesn't have them.
No, she doesn't.
Our next video features a pet owner trying to train his cat to stay off the kitchen counter. His cat may never be the same.
Take the bait. Take the bait.
Oh my God. FYI, everyone, this does not work with mountain lions.
Oh no.
You know, my dad used to do this to me, except instead of sticky paper, he just punched me in the face.
That's kind of sad, but I don't know what the big deal is.
Okay.
That cat is being a total pussy.
Candace, no! Candace! And finally, and at #1 today, a video that Reddit just dubbed the single worst video on the internet. It's a high school AV Club's tribute to Psy's Gangnam Style. Come on, guys, it's okay. Relax.
Spartan high school style. High school style. The Spartan way is the best way. In your way, pay attention. No question what a teacher said. Garden fun, garden fun. Garden fun is the home of the Spartan.
Spartan high school style.
Lunch lady.
Sport. Spartan high school style.
I am so sorry.
Just vodka. She's just going straight vodka. Straight vodka. That's gonna hurt. Look, dear white people, okay? We've decided that you can no longer upload videos to the internet. No, I only drink strawberry margaritas. Goodbye, internet. We'll miss you.
Still ahead, a look back at the time director James Cameron visited our show and destroyed most of our set. Don't go anywhere. Let me help you! The time of the show is coming to an end and we need your help. Do you have a favorite AOTS blooper, comedy bit, or segment that you want to see one last time before we pull the plug? Well, now is your chance to speak up. Send us an email with your name and tell us what you want to see in the final episode of Attack of the Show. Email us at mayorofg4@g4tv.com.
Been a great friend of the show over the years.
Here's a classic interview with the mega director talking about the new technology he's working on for the sequel to Avatar. Spoiler, our set did not survive the interview intact.
Hey, my next guest, he didn't invent 3D films, but he made them worth watching. Please welcome back to the show the visionary director of Avatar. Ladies and gentlemen, James Cameron is here.
Remember me? You owe me an autograph. I guess.
That's the red blue.
That's right.
You brought your own.
I'm keeping the chair.
James Cameron, ladies and gentlemen, please have a seat. You brought.
I'm going to add that to my collection.
All right, sir. You
It's
brought
getting a little dusty.
a little dusty. No, that was fantastic. I should note that you asked before the show how you should come through the wall, and it would be blasphemous for me to give you direction. You did a damn fine job. You plowed on through it.
Well, it kind of piles up in front of you. And
You kicked it out. Now, you said you're going to keep the chair because you actually kept the chair from the last time you were on the show when you hit Drunkle Ted.
Yeah, this is the second one in my collection now.
So
it'll be an ongoing motif.
Did you actually keep the chair though? Is it with you
yeah,
somewhere?
of course.
Where did the chair end up?
It's in a place of honor right next to like the Golden Globe and all that.
There's no way. It's in a U-Haul in Des Moines, right?
Well, I forgot to mention the Golden Globe is sitting in a corner with a pile of other stuff and the chair next to it.
Do you have Oscars holding up the extra rolls of toilet paper, like in the bathroom? Like, is that what you use them for now?
Yeah, well, they kind of migrate around because they're usually in the way someplace and then they go somewhere else.
Just kick them out and get them out of the way?
Yeah, no, with respect, but
gingerly place them around everywhere. Well, it's been about 8 months since you were on the show, and I just want to recap what you've been up to in case you forgot. You had the movie came out. I heard it did pretty good.
Yeah.
You won a metric ton of awards. I think that's a unit of measurement now. You planted millions of trees with your Earth Day group. 56th birthday was spent submerged underwater in Russia?
Yeah, I was in a Mir submersible at the bottom of Lake Baikal, which is the deepest freshwater lake, and it was in Siberia.
I barely find time to tweet and play video games. How on earth?
You know, if you slow down with the tweeting and the video games, you'll do more adventures.
I might find time to do this stuff. Yeah.
It's called actual reality. It's kind of the opposite of virtual reality.
So where's the keyboard go?
Yeah.
How do I move around this thing?
Right.
Speaking of the
What's
Avatar.
the GUI for this? How do I, I
don't get the interface. Like, by the way, this is the least interesting customized character that I could have ever picked for this game. The Avatar, don't listen to the studios or anybody else. I think you're going to make it back on DVD sales.
We'll clear,
the way the industry works, between Netflix and DVD, you're going to be fine. Congratulations. I mean, first and foremost.
Thanks. It's because I came on your show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's the least I can do. The chair hit is what really sold it for fans. Right. When I finally got a chance to see it, I sat down and saw a father and son kind of squad sitting next to me, and he was even relating to his son that this felt like, he's like, this is like your Star Wars. This is going to be it for you. And the energy in that theater was unparalleled. I've never experienced that in all the movies that I've seen. So
great.
So it was phenomenal. But now
let me come on your show anytime so that you can sell it. So
by all means. Well, here, let's sell the re-release. Now it's coming back into theaters with 9 additional minutes.
Yeah, and the thinking on that was that there were a lot of scenes that we cut out because, frankly, we didn't know how long people could sit in a movie theater wearing 3D glasses without their eyeballs melting and their heads exploding.
Right.
So we were kind of conservative on the length, and there was some things we took out that we really loved, and we thought, well, if we're going to go back out there, it's going to be all digital 3D prints, so, let's just add back the extra material.
Right, so we were talking extra material, a couple extra explosions, line of dialogue, maybe some Na'vi sex?
Yeah. Is alien kink. I know there's a big demand for that in your audience.
That was the title of my slash fiction that I wrote about Avatar, was alien kink.
We all want to see what the Na'vi do, when the lights go down.
So what do they? Well, they glow, which is going to be interesting.
Well, just to manage expectation, okay? The real kind of nasty bits are still off camera. That all happened after the last dissolve. It's all implied, But there is a little alien foreplay.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll take that. I mean, you have 3D models of all the characters, so you can pretty much pose them any way you want in post and figure.
Ooh, that's just between me and my characters.
James is here. He wants another night edit. Could everybody leave the room?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure there will be a Navi Sutra DVD extra at some point. If there's not, by all means,
note to self.
You have it.
Sutra.
So what is going to be new to the film? I mean, is it?
Yeah, what we did was we put back a mix of action, kind of spectacle, and some emotional stuff that I was always really fond of, some good performance work by the actors. There's a big hunt sequence called the Stern Beast Hunt, new creatures, stuff you haven't seen before.
Fantastic.
Flying action, riding horses, very, very, kind of epic adventure-looking stuff. A little bit more battle, a little bit more of the Jake Neytiri love scene, very, very little, 20 seconds.
That's all it takes?
Yeah,
all it takes?
Well,
alien kink.
When you're your age.
Believe me, they keep telling that's going to get better, and nope.
There's a the Tsute character, Laz Alonso's character. We just see him kind of fall off the shuttle at the in the battle and assume he dies. Well, he does, but there's a dramatic moment around that.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, and it's actually some of the best CG in the film. It kind of broke our hearts to take it out.
I was going to say that must be terrible to pull out a shot that in a movie that had the best CG I've ever seen that could stand out that That'd be
Yeah,
good.
but see, we didn't know because we had to finish all this stuff afterwards. It was cut, it was final edited, but I'm sure, you know, a lot of your viewers know that the movie's made twice. We do a kind of video game proxy resolution version of the film, and then we bring it up to full res. So now we've gotten to see all this stuff at full res, and it looks great.
And what about, I mean, Avatar 2? I mean, is there, I know you've had ideas and you have notes. Yeah, if you could get, we'll get the chair to you. Just start typing out something.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's going to take some time. I mean, the first film took 4.5 years. We're sort of in pre-production right now, you know, setting up our technical foundation for, you know, the new render engine, the new digital asset management system. I can geek out on this show, right?
Yeah, I think
the new digital asset management system, because like every time you create a blade of grass or a leaf, it becomes a new asset. It's got a number and so on every time you change it or reconfigure it.
Right.
So you wind up with literally, like, you know, millions and millions of assets, and you got to keep track of them all.
Do you carry them all on like a super secret thumb drive?
Yeah, it's just on a little flash memory thing, but it's handcuffed to a guy, right?
The golden handcuff with a little USB drive.
If you lose that, you're screwed.
I mean, it doesn't, like, because with, you know, some films you can go and tour archives of projects and see all the wardrobe and all this and all that. Most of your assets are going to be digital for something like this. So you're going to.
It's interesting you should say that, because we actually have a beautiful display of all of the handcrafted costumes and props and so on. Everything that appeared as a CG model had to be physically created first.
Wow.
All the Navi weaving and everything was all done.
So you still got all that.
We've got all that stuff because it's not intuitively obvious, but to do it right and make it look real, you have to physically make it first, so the CG artist can study it. We can see how it moves on a model's body. You know.
Plus, if the DVD sales don't pan out, eBay fire sale.
That's right.
You get all those props right there.
We only actually have it now because the film did well. Otherwise, we would have sold it all off.
Give it off. Buy it now. Buy it now. And you're developing a new 3D camera as well. Is that for Avatar 2 or is it for the underwater project that you?
Both. Well, we're always developing new generations of the 3D technology. So yeah, next gen camera, new underwater camera tools. You know, I mean, we're always restless. We always know how we can do it better.
Live.
Let's see if he can top yesterday's full frontal interview.
Oh, I hope so.
This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Honda Power Sports. For great deals on gifts that go, it's go time at your Honda dealer.
All the news you need to know.
And here are your top stories. Yesterday, we told you that the UN was meeting to discuss the possibility of creating regulations for the internet. Well, today, American politicians made it clear that they don't want anyone controlling the web. Lawmakers unanimously passed a resolution this morning that pledged Washington's commitment to promoting a global internet free from government control. Congress reportedly felt the need to vocalize their stance after Russian President Putin voiced his support for UN regulations. Hopefully, the United Nations listen and leave the internet alone, because if they don't, they will face a threat greater than anything they've ever seen: 4chan. And the final major meteor shower of the year is almost here, called the Geminids. The shower is expected to peak on the nights of December 13th and 14th at around 1 a.m. and is likely to be the best we've seen all year. Conditions should be perfect. There will be no moon on those nights, and the Geminid shower occurs high in the sky, meaning it can be seen anywhere in the northern hemisphere. So, if you've been dying to see the majesty of space firsthand, this is really the perfect opportunity. And there is a lot of entertainment news today. First, Entertainment Weekly released the first photo from the upcoming blockbuster, Ender's Game. The photo shows Harrison Ford in character as Colonel Graff and Asa Butterfield as Ender. Based on the beloved book by Orson Scott Card, Ender's Game will be in theaters November 1st, 2013. And Ken Marino's hit web series Burning Love is returning for a second season. This time around, the Bachelor-style spoof stars a ton of great male comedians, all vying for one woman's love. Season 2 features Michael Cera, Paul Scheer, Rob Hubel, Adam Scott, and so many more. The series will air on Yahoo.com sometime next year. And finally, Pizza Hut is apparently on a mission to make the strangest food-related products possible. First there was the cheeseburger pizza, and now we have this, Ode to Pizza Hut. Yeah, that's right. It's a Pizza Hut perfume. Supposedly, the scent is identical to the smell of a box of Pizza Hut pizza being opened, but somehow I find that hard to believe. Unfortunately, the company only made 110 bottles of the stuff, and they've all been handed out already. I'm Sarah Underwood, and you've just been fed, and now Vikings attack in indie game format, that is.
Hey, you like video games? Well, guess what? We got a line of shooters, side-scrollers, and fighters in today's indie games. First off, prepare to fly the friendly skies. Well, not so friendly, with Mora. Part R-Type, part Star Fox, this shoot-'em-up has you facing off against a serial killer hell-bent on destroying the world. Like most aerial combat shooters, you must dodge a constant barrage of enemies and bullets, defeat gigantic bosses, and of course, snag tons of power-ups to keep you alive. However, unlike most, there is no health bar. Instead, you have a clock that is counting down. Getting hit by blasts or enemies knocks off time, while destroying enemies adds time. And as long as it's ticking, you stay alive. Speaking of time, you also have the ability to briefly slow it down for when the fit really hits the shan. So have the time of your life with Mora on Xbox Live, PSN, and Steam for $15. But if you prefer to keep your feet on the ground, then get ready to bash some skulls with When Vikings Attack. In this old-school inspired arcader, Vikings are attempting to seize your town, and it's up to you and your citizens to fight back. This is accomplished by snagging various objects littered about the town, like rocks, cars, and missiles, and shucking them like a bowling ball through the invading hordes. As you collect townspeople, you'll be able to heave larger objects as well as collect new characters to help. But the best fun to be had is the game's multiplayer. Whether it's teaming up to fight the Norsemen or just competing against one another in deathmatch, When Vikings Attack is a perfect party game. So save your town and put a hurtin' down on the mobs of invading Vikings for only $10 on the PlayStation Network. And finally, if you blasted your way through Borderlands 2 and you're looking for a little more of the shoot and loot, then check out its latest DLC, Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage. In this latest expansion, a new vault of loot has been found in the badass crater of Badassitude, and only the biggest badass can open it. Catching a theme here? As you frag your way through the desert, you'll be guided by the over-the-top Mr. Torg.
We at the Torg Corporation sincerely believe this is awesome!
You will also collect rare Torg coins that can be used to buy legendary loot. With over 6 hours of the main quest, tons of side missions, and some truly hilarious fun to be had, Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage DLC is a must for its $10 price tag. So download it on Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live.
Is it just me, or does it seem like he's gonna betray the out of you?
So there you have it. Some shooting, some fighting, and some more shooting. I'd say we got your video game fix.
I'm gonna kill you!
Stay tuned. We'll mash things up with TJ Miller live. Hopefully those things do not include his genitalia.
Please welcome TJ Miller. TJ, now this is a weird day.
It's a weird day for us.
And when you walked in the door,
everybody started chanting what they always chant when I enter a room.
Which is what?
Penis, 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 penis. What a depraved, sad television staff they've become.
I've known TJ for many years. Every time he enters a room.
Penis, penis, yeah. But it's always, all right, calm down. But it's always me who starts the chant. I think you failed to mention that.
That part is weird. TJ Miller. TJ is a friend of mine.
We've been friends. How long would you say? 5, 10?
6 years, maybe.
That's it?
I think that's
15 years.
15 years we've been friends. When I first moved to LA, TJ was a very nice person, and he invited me to the Magic Castle. And we went to the Magic Castle together, and we may have had some dates, right? Boom, 2 times. And we had dinner up there.
We did. It's hard to be romantic, though, when you're at the Magic Castle, don't you think?
Correct.
Because, I'm trying to talk to a girl, sort of get them, get them into the mood. He keeps I'd sort of be like, listen, I think it's time that we think about moving in, and Mike over here going, what's this, huh?
Wait, but you're a member at the Magic Castle, aren't you?
I am a magician member.
Because you do a little bit
I'm a juggler.
TJ does juggling, ladies and gentlemen.
Show us. You're just still on the penis kick. Show it. What did Eric Andre's penis look like? Does it have the same? Is his pubic hair similar? Would you really? Is it similar? I imagine his pubic hair to be the same as his actual hair. Just overpoweringly indicative of his insecurity.
He trimmed
it. Is that right?
He trimmed it. He trimmed it.
He trimmed it or he tripped in it?
He tripped in it.
I like the idea of tripped in it.
Those are 2 different things. Candace says whenever she meets a new guest, she always puts on her nicest white robe.
It's cold in here. Shut up.
TJ.
She's the Hugh Hefner of live video game-driven television.
We should probably talk about all the TV shows you're on.
I want to talk about you being the host of this show, the guest host of this show.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Because I've always been a fan of Michael Costa's stand-up.
Thank you.
First time I ever saw you, you entered the stage. Has anyone talked about this?
And they were chanting.
I don't know if you guys. Oh, you do. You have the technology. He came on stage, and this is just how he came on stage. He goes, "Thank you, Mike Costa, everybody. Mike Costa. Mike Costa, everybody. Mike Costa."
That doesn't sound like
Thank you, Michael Costa. Mike Costa. Keep it coming for Mike Costa.
I think we got it.
The first 15 minutes of your entire act were just you saying your name handsomely. Because he is handsome.
Yeah. Right, thank you.
Hey, you get lost in those eyes, you wake up around that butthole. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. That was when we went to the Magic Castle. What was the first stand-up joke you ever wrote? Do you remember what it was called?
It was called What If Advertisements Could Cuss?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then you would go into that.
You can pretty much imagine.
Yeah.
It didn't work. My first joke that worked that I kept was that a guy called me a gay wad.
Okay.
Gay wad, which is great because that means one gay isn't enough for me. I'm a wet clump of homosexuality. Yeah, that's why I use it to this day as my closer.
The first joke I ever wrote, not that anyone asked or cares, was called Crotch Karate. And I would walk around the stage pretending to karate chop people with my crotch.
What does that look like?
It looks terrible is what it looks like. What a terrible first joke. We're not even going to do it. It's not. I'm not the guest. Hey, I'm not the guest. Hey, he is not here. That's what it looks like. And he's the guest. We're going to interview him.
He's not Eric Andre, okay? He's not up here just submitting himself to peer pressure. You know, the same thing happened when Eric came in here. You guys were all like, penis! Penis!
I love that we do a pre-interview.
Not with me. What's the point? I'm just going to be as weird as possible anyway.
I want to promote your show, which is Mashup on Comedy Central.
It's over now. The last episode aired last night.
Okay.
So you guys tune in. It's impossible to watch it. If you see here, this is me. Oh, there's John Stamos. There's some woman who's yelling. There's John Stamos. There's me with hair that is in abandon. And then, so it was a stand-up show. We showcased stand-ups.
But those are those are sketches.
Well, it's sort of a hybrid of sketch comedy and stand-up. So some of they're visualizations of the stand-up.
Yes.
And exactly.
It's hilarious.
You know what's you know why it did so well? Because it's so easy to explain.
It's very funny because you watch comics you like and know, and you're already enjoying the joke, and then you add these hilarious visualizations and
a lot of comics are actually great sketch performers. On a sketch, comedians are actually really good stand-ups. So you got to see a lot of that, and it was a really fun show. It was fun to do for Comedy Central.
When you were with the for some reason I always think you're in Chicago, but you're from Denver.
I'm from Denver, but I came up in the Chicago scene.
And you had the Blurds there.
Yeah.
And those were the other Chicago guys.
That was sort of the Chicago crew, and they invited me to be a part of that, and then that was sort of the genesis of Mashup many years ago.
I remember seeing many years ago before we had this kinship.
This one right
here, where we get very close to each other.
We get too close,
and we talk.
And our hands look like this.
Right. I'd like to back off of this right now if I can.
Let's do it.
Okay. There we go. The first mashup I essentially saw was some Blurds messing around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that became that, and then I just did. I have a new digital series that you can see called RVC, the Lone Shopping Network,
right?
And that's on Rides.tv. So just enter in Rides.tv. Here's clips of it, and it's the second lowest rated home shopping network. And Nick Vatterott, my producing partner, there's some squid face sexual intercourse that happens. Dave Foley's on it, Paul Scheer, a bunch of people. And if you want to, you can enter in your phone number and your email, and it'll interact with you. So like characters will send you an email, you'll get a phone call. It really enriches the narrative, and it allows us to have all of your information. To then find you and ask you if you didn't think something was funny, why not, you know?
I just learned...
Was there not enough of the, you can't say the D word on this, I heard, but Eric Andre, you can say penis.
You can show
it. You can say dong. You can say wang.
Right.
I call mine a thin little. So I'm not going to be pressured to show my thin little. I know that it's a tough act to follow when Eric Andre comes on.
I was just going to say, as stand-up comics, we don't always love... Careful. Actually, do whatever you want.
No, you don't always love what? I'm just having an interview, Michael.
Right.
I don't know why you keep stopping it in the middle of it.
Our S&P guy has got his finger on that button, I guarantee it. He was already...
What were you going to say?
What would you guys do right now?
I know what I do. I'd continue the interview like a professional guest host.
What I was just going to say, when I heard about RVC, I looked up QVC. And now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the camera, giving TJ some time to do what it is that he wants to do right now. QVC stands for Quality, Value, Convenience.
Thin little. And RVC is one step lower.
Right.
Because there's no quality.
Do we know what the R stands for?
Returnable.
Returnable.
You can return anything.
Valuable. C is the cent.
The C is the C word.
Is the C word. Returnable.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you think it was? I was talking about cents. Oh, you guys are thinking about your vajayjays.
Where can we see RVC?
Rides.tv.
Rides.tv.
And you should really get into it. It's a new type of comedy. We tried our best.
Did you write it, produce it, start?
Yeah, I created it. My producing partner and I, Nick Vatterott, we both wrote it.
Yep.
And a great director directed it, and the studio was wonderful. And it's just so much fun. It's not quite the Eric Andre show, you know what I mean?
You don't have to. I had said it's got to be tough to follow what happened yesterday, but if anyone can do it, it's going to be TJ Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess it's not an Adult Swim show, you know? I guess it's not an Adult Swim show. I guess it's not quite as edgy as Eric Andre.
That's still good. That's TJ Miller. Where's my camera for this one?
I guess what you're saying, I guess it isn't the type of show where a man would have intercourse with a Christmas tree. Michael, I just want you to know that regardless of what people thought of the show, and you as a guest host or me as a host, that when I first met you, I always knew, this is weird that you would want this.
Go ahead, continue with your monologue.
But just that, when we first met, we were in stand-up at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak, Michigan. And now here I am on what is essentially your show where they can't even afford fire. I mean, how cheap does something have to be where you can't buy logs and a match? I always knew that when I met you. I said, well, one day I'll be degraded on G4 to the point of having to have sexual intercourse with the secular concept of Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen. You can see TJ. Stop looking here. Thanks to TJ Miller for stopping by. You can see his web series RBC by visiting rides.tv and TJ's comedy album Mashup Audio File is now available to buy. What has happened to all of this?
There's more Attack of the Show. Oh my God.
Tomorrow on Attack of the Show.
Funny man Scott Aukerman drops by with his groundbreaking podcast, Comedy Bang Bang. Then Matt Myra gets physical with Nintendo's tablet console, the Wii U, on Gadgetron. And Weston Scott meets up with some of the world's best free-riding mountain bikers at the Red Bull Rampage.
It's Attack of the Show tomorrow at 7.
Ever wish that you could be in control of the Simpsons universe? Well, here is your chance in The Simpsons Tapped Out. In Tapped Out, you're in charge of rebuilding Springfield after Homer melts down the local power plant. Go! As you progress, you can help Homer find his family and other iconic characters. You can also complete quests like making a Pooh work ridiculously long shifts at the Quickie Mart, growing moonshine on Cletus's farm, or just lounging in Homer's kiddie pool. As you finish jobs and tasks, you earn currency and donuts. Donuts. You can also add your online friends and view their take on Springfield. With a level of customization available, no two Springfields will look exactly the same. And if you get bored, you can always stop in at Moe's Tavern for a duff. If you're a Simpsons fan, Simpsons Tapped Out is a great download. Pick it up for free on your iOS devices.
Matching outfit days. Hey, Matt Myra, how are you?
I am well, Michael.
What do you have for us today?
Pants. Okay, here's the deal, Michael. Cable box technology, you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Probably watch the show at home on a cable box. They're pretty terrible, right?
Correct.
Google and Sony thinks they have the answer. This is the Sony Internet Player with Google TV. Whoa, I just got in the way of that. Hey, Keith, can you blur that like it's a penis? No, okay. A lot of Sony TVs have this technology built in. The box, this brings Google TV to a TV that's not a Sony. So if you have a Sony TV, a lot of this stuff is already built in. We're hooked it up to a Samsung. If you got an HDMI port, you are in business. This is an internet companion for your television. It connects to your current cable box or satellite box and enables Google search for your live TV and internet connection. A lot of mumbo jumbo, not that fancy. But here's the deal. It's not an Apple TV and it's not a Roku box. So if you think you're getting that, that's not what it is.
That's what I thought this whole thing was.
Michael, you've been one step behind all week on Gadgetron.
Yes, I have.
Here's the deal. As far as the design goes, let's talk about that. I think it's a nice, simple design. It's going to blend in with everything. On the back, you have your HDMI in and out, as well as Ethernet, optical audio out. Setting it up, not that fast. So be ready to sit around with it for a while, but it's pretty easy. The software did a good job of recognizing whatever satellite or TV box you hook it up to. So it'll say, hey, this is a Motorola, whatever the hell. And it comes with a very interesting remote.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you about. It's a full QWERTY keyboard and trackpad.
Yeah.
Do you like this?
Do you know what your remote needs? More buttons, apparently.
Yeah, I mean.
No, let me tell you. It's actually, at first I was terrified. There's the trackpad side of it. It's on the back.
Yep.
You got a trackpad. You click around there. Then you have a keyboard on the front.
What?
So none of that garbage of searching YouTube on like an Xbox where you have to click A and then go over to.
And you misspell it on the Wii because I still have a Wii because
you're
I'm
that guy,
7.
Huh?
Yes.
Wow. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the Wii U. It's not good. That said, I had a lot of issues with the Google TV interface. It still feels like it's very sort of half-baked and needs like a software update or something. I feel like if you're going to build an interface for the TV, It's weird that I see a cursor constantly all the time unless I tuck it away.
Right.
It doesn't translate to the television portion of this. I think the keyboard makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
But again, it certainly isn't perfect. You can do voice commands with this, but only if you're the one guy that still has a Sony phone.
Which
nobody has a Sony phone.
Yeah, and voice commands.
Voice commands don't ever work.
The big thing with this device is making your live TV service smarter.
Yeah.
Was it successful with that?
I'll start with the good parts of that, okay? Movies and TV search on the app is pretty great. That's sort of the shining feature of this. Take a look. It turns your sort of everything that's on television to like a Netflix queue. That's just stuff that's on TV right now. So you can go around and click on the poster. Gives you a little subs, tells you how long that movie has left to play, how long it is. It's great if you subscribe to any premium cable channels like HBO and stuff like that.
Than those blocky like guides.
Yeah, I don't want to read.
No, we don't read.
I'm looking at a TV specifically to avoid reading.
Yes.
Can't wait for Anna Karenina. Okay. No one read that. Okay. This stuff's great, but it does a pretty bad job of interfacing with the actual cable box. And let's say you want to search for a show you want to record, you got to pick up the remote and actually do it with your cable box. This won't do that for you. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
A lot of bummers on this. Dish Network boxes are the only ones that fully talk to the Google TV. So what that tells you is it's useful to the people that are watching this, because we're not on DirecTV. Right. So what Google needs to improve this, I think, sort of integration needs to be more seamless. That's what I want out of this.
Basic services, Netflix, Amazon, HBO, and Go. How is that? Because I've got Netflix.
Yeah, you got Netflix, right?
Yeah,
well, guess what? That's pretty much the only app that's actually on here. The rest of them are just little links to the web page.
A link?
You guys should be angrier about that.
Yeah.
There you go. This makes no sense to me. You sort of got these. You want like an Amazon app instead of it bringing you to the web page. So if you want to use that kind of stuff, you're going to look at turning on your Xbox and your PS3. So essentially, all those app icons, they're just hyperlinks. It's just kind of a bummer. So to that I say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The Sony Internet Player with Google TV can be yours for around 170 bucks. Matt Myra, I'm sensing some serious negativity. What's the verdict?
Listen, I don't like to do it, but I'm going to have to, Sony. 2.5 out of 5.
I've never seen that before.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do around here. I can't take my pants off, but I can give you a bad review.
Yeah.
Now listen, it's the device itself. I like the hardware. I like the remote. Those are the things I really like about it. I think that's good design. However, I think that most cable boxes out there, they're awful, and the fact that you can have Google TV, I don't know if it's enough for you to drop 170 bucks on this thing. When you spend a little more money, you can get like an Xbox and actually do things with it. So I think Sony they've made some hardware that's pretty cool, but they've made some software that's pretty not cool, and you need like a killer app on here, something that's not a hyperlink to our terrible, terrible web page.
This thing should just be called Not a Hyperlink, please. Why don't we say thanks to Matt Myra, everybody?
It's time for today's epic fail.
Here's a tourist on the worst sightseeing trip ever.
She's gonna stack it.
It's a.
God bless her little nose and face and.
Everyone's a little in shock right now. It's okay, Candace. She no longer feels pain because she's dead now.
Oh, what a fun week we're having. 2 naked guests in 1 week. This is insane. Thanks to our guests, TJ Miller, Matt Myra, James Cameron, Sarah Underwood, Michael Costa. Thank you to you
Who knows what's gonna
for
happen
bringing